Good morning. It's the 12th of April today. Um, it's going to be a busy week this week. I have a building project for a potter's bench, and I have responses for the referee feedback that I got. Turns out I did pretty well on the game, despite the fact that it got a little messy during the middle of the game. But I wasn't expecting to get any feedback, and I get the feeling that I'm being slowly and carefully groomed for bigger and better things, which is a little confusing because I had sort of assumed that I was just going to stay doing the high school games and not really worry too much about development, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being developed and not worrying. One of the things that the person who came out to give me feedback said was that he doesn't like to go and watch other people, not know other people, but there's a lot of other people that he won't go out and watch to give feedback because they don't change how they manage or what they're doing, and as a result they never really improve their level of refereeing. I have a contact appointment tomorrow. I'm seeing Corey tomorrow again for my knee to get some ideas on how I can sort of manage that a little better. And the workouts. I've got a company presentation to give. I think it's on Wednesday Wednesday on the 14th. So I need to prepare for that, and I've got a hiring task that I'm working on at the moment for one of the facilities that I look after. What else? For the bench build it busy week. Find some time to test run the fungus that I got from a friend the other day and see how it works. We've planned a vacation, and I'd like to take some with me to the vacation spot, so when we go hiking, can make it a little more interesting. What else? No, I think that's about it actually. Maybe not as much as I thought. It just feels like a lot because it's not I don't have a one and done list on it. But looking at the last 4 weeks, and we're actually really looking at the last 8 weeks leading up into the 56 days, my productivity's been much better. I feel like, come on camera, do the thing, there we go. I feel like the last 8 weeks has actually been really useful in terms of my work productivity. I've been able to increase the amount of work that I get done and not have it cut into my hobbies and not have it cut into any of the free time that I would normally have. In fact, normally, most days, I'm done by 4 o'clock, and it's actually been quite great. I've been able to go and sit down and take a rest, take a pause, have a think about things, or pursue hobby stuff, whether it's reading a book or looking up Dungeons and Dragons nerd stuff. One of the things that it's made me think on a lot is the future for habits. The future for marijuana use is definitely in doubt. I don't think that there's any reason for me to ever really go back to it, knowing what I know now, and having taken such a long introspective look writing that book. I just can't see any reason why I should threaten or throw away the work that I've done here, and why I should threaten that. It seems like unnecessary pleasure seeking. But yesterday I had a friend come over and chat with me a little bit about gaming and socially, like with other people, and and I remembered that that was enjoyable for me. It wasn't enjoyable. By the by, it wasn't enjoyable. My internet connection was never good enough for me to ever really have fun with anybody playing socially. But the social element, the being with other people and being able to talk to other people while I was doing it, certainly did make it more enjoyable. So the future of that is uncertain, not doubtful, but uncertain. And I've had multiple people say through the comment section, or people that I know, who've said that single player games should be okay, but then other people have said, well, social games should be okay, multiplayer games should be okay. And I look at the consistency of the messaging there, and I don't see any consistency whatsoever. It doesn't seem like there's really anything, and ultimately it comes down to your ability to manage your own time. And I get the feeling that if I dive back in, it may end up being a similar situation that it would be with marijuana, where I just sort of, relapse and then find myself curled up on the couch playing video games instead of working, which is kind of part of the problem that I had last year with my level of productivity. Oh, there's another one. APHR certification. I got an hour of study of that a day. And reading the law rulebook for rugby so I can develop my knowledge on the laws. Yeah, it's going to be a fucking long day. Anyway, getting back to my point. I fear that there will be a relapse into old bad habits with video games, and I don't think I'm out of the woods far enough yet to even really make an attempt. It's tempting. It's certainly tempting, but I just don't feel like there's any reason to test that theory yet. And as I said, it was meant to be a 90-day break, and we're over halfway. And I don't feel like there's any reason to just stop or discontinue doing it. I've enjoyed having the money to put in other places. I've enjoyed having the time to do other things, and think about other hobbies, like this idea of planting plants and trying to grow cuttings and kind of spending time observing that and trying to make something out of that. I wouldn't have done that had I been playing video games, because I would never have been would never have been as sort of happy to do it, as interested, as curious. Whereas now I am, because I'm starting to think of, well, what else could I be doing that isn't playing video games right now? And one of them is building the planter box, or the potter's bench rather, and the other one is doing this planting. Like I've always wondered about growing plants, and I've never really been much of an observer. After I planted them when I was a kid, I could give two shits if they went or not. But yeah, as an adult, it's a skill that I'd like to develop at least a little bit, and have some extra knowledge in the pocket for when we have our own place and we want to plant trees. Plus, if any of these take, these are plants that I've picked that we can keep going. So when we move, we can take them with us and plant them wherever we end up. And I like the idea of that. I like the idea of pre-growing a bunch of trees now, if we can, if I can figure it out, to take with us. I think that's it's a good idea for a long-term project, and it fills one of those hobby slots, so I don't have to mourn or reminisce or pine for video games. Anyway, a short, quiet one for you this morning. Talking about all the things that I have to do. But yeah, that's it for me. Ka kite.